Systems like ChatGPT and even the older models like GPT-3 were trained on really large data sets. They may not be as large as, like the image data sets. We use this, data set based on, just scraping social media data from Twitter and Reddit called Pile to, train these large language models, some of them. But if you look at, the parameter size of these models, they are increasing, right? So we started off with, basic like 3 billion parameters, 10 billion parameters. Right now I'll tell you, in Samanova, we are training a model called Bloom with about 176 billion parameters. And we are also looking at higher parameter models. So when you look at models this large, you can't train them, on like commodity hardware. Like you can't I have a GPU behind me, which was good enough for for training some of the basic models that I was playing with, 3-4 years ago. But not anymore. You can't do these things, the training of these things on a single GPU. So you need to have, large farms or clusters of these, compute units that can do this training really well. Mm-hmm. And it was a reason why I joined Samanova, because when I saw what was needed to scale the training of these really large models, you have to pretty much optimize the whole stack. What I call silicon to UX, right? Mm-hmm. Your silicon has to be optimal enough for you to be able to train these large models, and then take the experience up. Because I can tell you, there's not a lot of people out there who can train models this large. There's like a handful of startups. But then, now we are getting into some really interesting use cases where, can you do this distributed training over a bunch of machines? So there's a model called GPT-J, which does that, distributed training really well. But all the old school ways of, training models and stuff, things like AutoML is going to go out of the door, because, the way these large language models work, the way the hyperparameters and the number of parameters in these models work, and then what you require to actually train these models really quickly is drastically different. Like GPT-3, I think by some measures, it took like $150 million to train. Well, we can train that thing in less than a week on something like the Samanova hardware. And so it's more about seeing where the puck is going and making sure that the hardware and the software is ready for us to be able to train those really advanced models.